Now, before we get into the full highlights from yesterday's games, I do want to go ahead and say that my prayers are up to Chris Bassett and his family, as well as the A's organization, because a scary moment happened in the L yesterday against the White Sox, as the White Sox won 9-0. But Chris Bassett got hit in the eye area. Apparently, he is going to be fine, but unfortunately, he will require facial surgery, and I don't know how long he's going to be out, but he is the best pitcher on the A's, so I'm hoping he makes a speedy recovery. Like I mentioned, the White Sox won 9-0. Jake Lamb hit a 3-run homer. Jose Abreu hits another 3-run homer. He has 89 RBIs. And then Reynaldo Lopez is having a comeback season. He throws 5 shutout innings with only one hit allowed, and he's just been a stud. Speaking of sensational, the Red Sox have been anything but that. They lose a doubleheader yesterday to the Yankees. In game number 1, we see Andrew Velasquez driving in 2 RBIs, and then we see Xander Bogaerts fighting up to tie it back up. And then Luke Voigt, he uses contact swing and gets a 2 RBI single. And then Giancarlo gets an RBI single. And then the Yankees are up 5-3. And then Jonathan Lasagna tightropes in the 7th inning. And Yankees are now 1 game back of the Red Sox. But like I mentioned, they tied it up because they played a doubleheader. Luis Hill made history. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Luke Voigt goes the opposite way and hits a home run. He's making a statement. Giancarlo hits a moonshot 441 feet. And Luis Gill, to begin his career as a Yankees, has 3 consecutive scoreless starts, not allowed a single earned run in almost 16 innings. First Yankees to ever do that. And then we have Peralta making an amazing play, making sure that the Red Sox do not score a run, and now they're tied for 2nd place. Now, a conundrum that the Yankees' Aaron Boone is facing is, should he start Anthony Rizzo or should he start Luke Voigt? Anyways, this is what Luke Voigt...
I finally feel like I'm hitting my stride, after, getting a week's worth of games under me. And, I was top 10 MVP last year, and I've been a great player for this organization for the last 3 years. And, I'm not going down. I want to play. Obviously, I know it's going to be tougher with Rizzo, but, I deserve to play just as much as he does. And, I led the league in home runs last year, and I feel really good again. And obviously, the injury bug is the reason he's here, because of me. But, obviously, I hope Boone can do whatever he can to, try to get me some consistency.
Not gonna lie, I think that's a perfect answer. He understands that the reason why Anthony Rizzo is on the team because he's not been able to stay healthy, and now he has to perform. And honestly, I think he's going to. Moving on over to the couple teams that are going for the 2nd spot as in the wild card. We have the Mariners against the Rangers and the Nationals against the Blue Jays, who are also going for a wild card spot. The Mariners game, we have Haneker making an amazing play, as Tyler Anderson has been really good so far to begin his career in Seattle. He goes 6 innings, only allowing 1 earned run and a sub-3 ERA with the Mariners. The Mariners do score a few runs off 2 sacrifice flies, and then Jared Kelenic glides in for a catch. And then J.P. Crawford flashes the leather and turns a double play to end the 8th inning. Then DJ Peters barely misses a Play of the Year candidate, and Paul Sewald comes in and saves it. And the Mariners win it 3-1. Next game up, we got the Blue Jays, Nats. Speaking of 4 games back, the Blue Jays end up 4 games back against 33-year-old Yadiel Hernandez. Hits a home run, and they were up for 6 runs in the 3rd inning off Alek Manoah. That was a very rough start for him. Riley Adams had a 3-hit game, also including a home run. Blue Jays come back, but Riley Adams comes in clutch yet again, hits a 2-run double against his former team, and he came over in the Brad Hand trade, and he destroyed his former team. Next up, we got the Braves versus the Marlins. Huascar Ynoa comes back from the injured list and shoves. Dansby makes a run-saving play. Sandy was dynamite. He went 1 run in 8 innings. He had 7 strikeouts to 1 walk. Unfortunately, the Marlins got shut out, and Austin Riley, for the cherry on top, hits home run number 26. He's been the best hitter for Atlanta all year, which is crazy to say. Will Smith has 26 saves, and Atlanta's on a 5-game winning streak. And they gain a 2.5 game lead over this team, the Phillies, as they lost, spoiler alert, to the Diamondbacks. Bryce Harper goes yard. Then we got Josh Rojas tying up on a double, and then Van Meter hits a 2-run homer off Kyle Gibson, and the Phillies fall 3-2 because they have the worst offense in baseball the last week. And they're 2.5 games back against the scorching red-hot Atlanta Braves. In the NL East, we got the Mets versus the Giants. They get handed an L against the Giants, courtesy of Tommy La Stella, who hits a 2-run homer. Stroman takes the L but has a Jeter play in the 4th inning as Evan Longoria is back from the IL, and I love it. He has 10 home runs, a 144 OPS plus. Pete Alonso hits a 2-run homer to make it close, but it was no avail as the Giants improved to 9-1 in their last 10 games. The Mets have lost 5 in a row, and now they're under 500 and 4.5 games out of first place. And the owner of the Mets is pissed. He's saying, how are these professional hitters are so bad? And he tweeted that. If we're going to talk about the Giants, we got to talk about the Dodgers and Padres. So we got the Dodgers and Pirates up first. A.J. Pollock with a 2 RBI single. Then Brian Reynolds gets it started for Pittsburgh, scores Brian Hayes. And then they score a run on a Jacob Stallings ground ball, and then LA comes back and dominates, and they win it. And Jansen collects his 25th save, and the Dodgers are 9-1 in their last 10 games. Rockies versus the Padres. Germán Marquez with an RBI single. Brendan Rodgers with a double right before Germán gets another base hit and does it again. Fernando goes 450 feet. He sparks a rally as his teammate Jake Cronenworth turns in his second inside-the-park home run of the year. This guy might be the most underrated player in baseball. Tommy Pham hits a ball to 486 feet. Then Chuck Nasty comes back, hits a home run, brings the momentum back as the Rockies win it 7-3. Then we got the Angels versus the Tigers. Miguel is so close to hitting his 500th home run, but still can't do it. Miggy and Ohtani had some fun at first. Ohtani steals his 18th bag of the year, and Brandon Marsh had a huge game yesterday, and they take the lead 1-0. Miguel Cabrera pops out as a nice play by Juan Lagares. Detroit comes back and ties it up. The bullpens have been great for the Tigers, but Joe Adele has a welcome to the big leagues moment as he hits a grand slam off a 97 sinker to Gregory Soto. And then Kurt Suzuki goes back-to-back and makes it 7-2, even though the Angels are 8.5 games back in the wild card. Cleveland was facing off against Minnesota yesterday. Eli Morgan was sensational. More on him in just a second because the Jet took off. Daniel the Jet Johnson goes yard. Wilson Ramos misses an extra base hit as Rob Reschneider put everything on the line and makes a nice catch. Eli Morgan goes 6 innings and gives up 0 runs, and Emmanuel Clase brings his ERA down to a sub-2. People still run on Michael Taylor talking to the Houston Astros. He snipes Martin Maldonado, and then Michael A. Taylor ties the game up at 1. And then the Royals take up the lead again, and they lead at 3-1 as Lynch shoved. He went 7 innings, And then the Astros lose it 3-1 to the Royals. The Rays versus the Orioles, only 4,000 people were in attendance. I feel bad for the Rays because that ballpark is not convenient at all. Manuel Margot with an RBI single, and then Mike Zunino with a 2-run bomb. He has a home run in 5 consecutive games. Nelson Cruz with his first Tropicana home run game. Brandon Lau gets an RBI double and an RBI an RBI on an error. Then Cruz does it yet again, makes it 10-0, and that would be the final score, and they win it 10-0. Jorge Mateo is on an 8-game hit streak for the Orioles. That's their only bright spot. Next up, we got a little NL Central matchup, and Corbin Burns was disgusting. His Cy Young stuff was just on, and he lowers his ERA to 2.13, but he only had 2 or 3 strikeouts. He still was vintage Corbin. Hader gets Bader to end the game, and the Milwaukee now has 15 shutouts in the season, which is in first. And the Brewers are now improved to 70-plus wins. Frank Schwindel comes up clutch for the Cubs. Jason Hayward almost goes yard, but Shogo robs it. Ian Happ goes yard, makes it 2-0. Castellanos hits a home run in the bottom half of the inning, and then the bullpen holds it down as the Cubs win it 2-1, and their 12-game losing streak comes to an end. That's going to do it for today's daily recap. Here is this day in MLB baseball history, but thank you so much for 100 subs. We appreciate it very much. Keep up the love. Road to 1K starts today.